So you think you got something to say? Well, why not just listen to these two dudes you don't know and collect their 2 cents? Well, 4 cents collectively. Maybe 5. You could make a nickel if they make any sense to you.
I mean, this is all garbage. No one should listen to this in the first place.
Stool with Matt and Nick.
There we go. Okay.
So what were we talking about? We're on like tit sweat.
Yeah, tit sweat. BO. Smell like a used bathroom because your BO is so bad that when you put on perfume, it just it just gets that same combination of flavor as like a bathroom with a little bit of Glade spray over the top of it. So that sort of stuff, that's good shit. Oh, you're talking about what I thought was actually there's like two really cool things that I heard about, or two cool named things. So we also talked about the Shadow Minister, which is very cool. Really not much to talk about there. It's just the best fucking job title of all, So Shadow Minister is very cool. People can look that up. And we'll just say what's going on here right now. We started recording, it got fucked up, so now we're catching you up on the topics that you're not going to hear whatsoever. So this is what we talked about. It was really funny. Just trust us on that, So Shadow Minister, Tit Sweat, and BO. And then here's a cool thing. So this is from Wait, Don't Tell Me. They talked about a story today where in Japan there's something called at a theme park, there's a Super Death Coaster. This is the name of a roller coaster. Super Death Coaster. And they had to shut it down because it's like the fastest roller coaster, at least in Japan, but it might be like in all of Asia or, where it might be the world, whatever. People were getting broken bones on the Super Death Coaster.
Dude, I know we've talked about this before, but like, why? Fucking why do people go on roller coasters? I don't get it.
I love roller coasters. I mean, I wouldn't want to go on the Super Death Coaster. No. And Wait, Don't Tell Me did a really great job of doing the joke because they brought up the story of they're like, because it's a news quiz show, So like, why did they have to shut down a roller coaster in Japan this week? And then the panelists just usually come up with like a joke answer, and then they say what it really was. Like, well, no, like multiple people have gotten like broken necks and broken like arms and shit on this roller coaster. And then they're like, oh, and by the way, it's really called the Super Death Coaster.
Are you fucking stupid to get on that thing? Like, no. I mean, like, I don't want to get on a roller coaster that's called like the Happy Meadow Frolic roller coaster, let alone fucking Super Death. Oh, yes.
It probably, to be fair, it probably sounds better in its real Japanese name, like it's just in translation.
That well, yeah.
Yeah, super must sound a lot better in like Japanese or have like a slightly different connotation than like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they may have named it in English because they do really like using like English words for shit like that.
Oh yeah. There was my buddy Joel back in the day he was like just obsessed with eating white rice all the time, and he used to get this. I think it was a Chinese brand from our local grocery store. And I shit you not, the English translation name of that rice on the bag was Super Happy Fun Time Elephant Rice.
I know this is pretty uncouth for these times, or very much not allowed anymore. But one of my favorite websites growing up was English.com.
Oh yeah,
and
shirts. Yeah. Oh, they're fantastic.
And I think why it's maybe still okay to laugh at it is because now obviously this fad went away a while ago, but the amount that people have used like Chinese symbols in America without knowing what any of the shit says, I'm sure there's like a website in China or Japan that's like stupidamerican.com, and it's us wearing t-shirts that say like "Go fuck yourself," just like they wear t-shirts, you know, like
bad tattoos and stuff that people get.
Yeah, and all that sort of thing. So maybe it's all fair because I'm sure we're just as ignorant as like them making, you know, like the t-shirt like "Happy Go Fuck Yourself," like saying shit like that on it.
Yeah, my buddy's got a shirt. I'm trying to remember exactly what it says, but it's like a picture of just some stuffed animals hugging each other. It's like a stuffed bear and a stuffed rabbit, and underneath it just says like 100 billion dead cops underneath it. Welcome to the Loose Stool, everybody. I'm Matt, sitting here talking to Nick, and doing the intro again. As you know, we had some technical difficulties, but I see you sitting on. Well, I know you're sitting on something, but I see you sipping on something over there, buddy. What you got?
I'm actually not sitting on anything. I know it looks like it, but I'm squatting like a linebacker, and I've been for the last like hour that we've been online together, or like I've actually just been squatting here. You only see my face, but I've had my hands in the position like right under like where the camera is, and I'm just squatted, like ready to jump at this podcast at any moment, So just so you know. Yeah. Even though it really looks like I'm rolling back and forth on like a wheelie chair or something, that's just I'm really good at this.
Really getting good at thrusting your thighs back and forth.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I'm practicing for your mom later.
I meant hips. I don't know why I said thighs. I meant hips.
It's all in the hips, baby. It's all in the hips. So yeah, no, I am drinking on something. I have I'm trying to get into wine a little bit as I'm quitting smoking cigarettes because I don't have a relationship with drinking wine and smoking cigarettes the way I have with drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. And so yeah, it's this stuff called Sideshow. It's a red blend. It's like $5 a bottle, but I've been enjoying the hell out of it. It's kind of cool looking too. It's very like piratey looking. Like I feel like I'm like, I feel like an old pirate back in the day, drinking this, but so I like that shit. Where am I going with this? So yeah, it's been really interesting, like quitting smoking. I've been using a nicotine patch, and it's like I've really felt incredible. I told you early in the week, like I think I'm gonna get like hooked on like patches because the steady flow of nicotine, like all day, I just feel so like calm, cool, and collected. Like it's unbelievable. Like I even opened up this bottle of wine like on Tuesday. I drank like a 3-ounce glass of it. I had like another little glass last night, and I'm just sitting here like chill as fuck, just holding on to my wine, just like sipping on it, and like not even like it'd take me like an hour, to an hour and a half to like drink a little bit. I'm drinking out of an olive glass, and I have the cover. I even didn't finish the glass a couple nights, just put that cover back on, and then like, saved it for the next day. There's a little pro tip for you.
Isn't that Pearl's slogan? It's like joy at your fingertips, which I've always thought was like a little too aggressive for olives.
Is it because you can put them on your fingers?
Maybe, I don't know.
You can.
Okay, yeah, joy at your fingertips. Let me eat an olive. Like, sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always bitch about how when I take these certain like studies online, they'll give you like a brand slogan. It's like, imagine that there's a coffee shop that's named Mr. Brown's Coffee. And this is their slogan. And their slogan's like, come enjoy a delicious cup of coffee at Mr. Brown's Coffee. And then you get a 30-question survey after, like, how much does this brand feel like a person? How much does it feel like you would like to be friends with this company? How much do you feel, you know what I mean? It's like, man, you guys are really up your own asses with how important you think this fucking coffee shop's going to be right now, like fucking, and it's like every brand does this shit. They all think like, oh, we're going to have this human connection and we're going to feel like the best friend of the consumer, I'm like, no, we're just going to buy shit there. That's it.
Right. Yeah, no, like you have a product. If it's a product that people want, they will come and get it. If it's like, not a fucking ripoff or something, and if it's a good product, that's all you should be concerned about. If you have a good product that people want, people will come. Like,
right. And like the product could be a good vibe or like a good environment, and it could be things that are more that aren't like physical products. You know, the product can be an experience, but your slogan, like you just give me a 10-word slogan and a name and a logo, and I'm supposed to have some massive impression over like what vibe, you know, your company exudes. Like, no, go fuck yourself.
I will fully admit that I did kind of get tricked by that as a teenager when Peace Tea came out, and I was like a total hippie kid. So I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking my Peace Tea, even though it's the same fucking thing as Arizona.
Although they do got the snowberry, and the snowberry is
nice.
Fucking delicious. I just had one of those the other day, actually. I still like a good Peace Tea every once in a while, and still a hell of a deal. Still like only $1.50 a can or something like that, you know, even up here. So yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, back to just the to wrap up my smoking story here. So it's really interesting because I'm starting to think that there's something about like the way that like smoking and drinking goes together that I always thought that I wanted to smoke because of drinking, but I'm realizing that smoking actually made me want to drink more too, because it's like, oh, so open up a beer. Well, now I got to fire up a cigarette, you know, and then like if my beer's like finishing, it's like, well, I want to have a cigarette before I'm done with that beer. Or conversely, if I open up or if I start a cigarette, it's like, well, I'm going to open up another beer so I can have a drink with my cigarette. Or then every time I take a puff, it's like, oh, I got to take another drink. And it just like turns into like one just keeps adding to the other. And also like for me, there was like a certain amount of like anxiety I realized I experience like every time I smoke a cigarette, like getting the blood pressure up and everything like actually gets into my head. Like I've been at a really, now again, I don't know what this is because I'm still on nicotine. Like again, I got a patch on, I'm chewing a piece of gum right now, but there's something about the more distributed release versus just getting like a punch of nicotine, like, or the whole high of like a cigarette at a certain point that I felt like really, really balanced this week. It's been pretty interesting, pretty incredible.
That is interesting. And like, before we cut to anything else, I do want to say, I've been thinking a lot about how you and I talk plenty about drinking and smoking and all that kind of thing. And it all does tie back to like relieving some like itch that you have. Like you want to be gratified by something. So like, I want a cigarette, I want a drink, blah, blah, blah. And I've noticed that because I've been trying to not quit drinking, but just cut back. And that is a thing I've noticed, is that when I stop drinking as much, well, then I start smoking more, because like I'm always trying to scratch this itch and like fill this like hole, so to speak, like this proverbial hole. And like, I'm just like always wanting something. And I think that is a symptom of addiction, basically, is like you're always left wanting something.
Yeah.
And, with your patch thing, that's kind of taken that away because you're steadily getting it all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I told you, I think I'm going to end up getting hooked on the patches, which I made the joke to Frank, the guy I work for. And he was like, well, these patches aren't going to kill you. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty good point. You know, like there's worse things, I guess. Like I do want to get off them, but it has been really, really nice to not have that. Like it has been so amazing. I felt so calm, cool, collected, like I said, but there was more through the week. I will say yesterday being a Friday, and then today, like this is the first weekend, and I typically like to drink on weekends, and I know I can't get like too drunk or even like buzzing much at all, because I will then get in my head like I want a cigarette, and the cravings have been very strong yesterday and today. Like it's weird, the first 4 days were like nothing, but now that I'm in the weekend, I have so many more triggers where I would normally smoke a cigarette, you know, like even sitting here talking to you, like, but the cool thing, again, back to the patch and the gum and having the nicotine in me, is it does really, if you can just skip over the thought, like, so like sitting here, I see you light up a cigarette and it makes me like reach for the pack because I have that like habit built in. But if I just like get over that thought and I don't let it consume me, and it's just like, okay, I just thought that, but I'm not smoking anymore, it kind of goes away really quickly. Like the patch really has been working. But you know, this has been a year of like I've been working on slowing down like the past year or so, and then I planned for a month